filter system. You've got the jug with the filter in. How many other ones have got filters? What type of filters? Is it a big one? Is it one like that? Outside the house, eh? Any more of them? You also got? Alright, so now I want to simplify things for you. When we buy water in the shops, what is the word that people normally use for clean water? Any of you? Have you ever heard of purified? Wash your hands. That's a good one. I like washing hands. Very clean goal. Alright, so purified water is what good clean water is. Now, there's a big difference in the water game when it comes to filtering the water. So when we say clean water, if we put it through one of these systems we call a big blue system, will it give you clean water? Any of you, yes or no? Yes. Okay, this is what we call filtered water. Now, the difference between clean water, the word we think of every day, clean water, when you see the water, you see through, and you look at it. Everyone, if you look at the water in your glass. Right, so you think you're drinking clean water, right? But do you know that the harmful things in the water cannot be seen by your eye? You cannot see it even under a microscope because it's dissolved into that water that you're drinking. So you would never know whether the water, if it looks clean, you'd never know whether it's really clean water. For that, we need filtration systems and purification systems. Okay, so how many of you have got boreholes? How many of you know what a borehole is?
It's like,
It's a good snap. Any of you else want to try it? Borehole. Any of you know what a borehole is? Have you seen these big trucks pull up and they got these big hammers and they start drilling into the ground and then the water shoots out? It's like a fairy tale. How the water shoots out. That's what we call borehole water. It's a natural source of water. Okay? Now, how many of you think our municipality water that we get at home is clean? How many of you think the municipality water from the government is clean? Yes. The water is not clean. Right now, within South Africa, we are facing a water problem. It's not just about having clean water, it's also about having water. Now, how do we solve that problem? What makes us at Purity so important to people is we help them get water and help them clean their water so we can be healthy. What are those words that you said earlier? Hydrate, you said. Wash your hands. To be healthy. To flush the toilet. Guys, do you see how important water really is? Water is extremely important. If not the most important thing. Yes. Yes, that's good. I like this interaction. So, this is what puts us apart. Now, there's a lot of different ways that we can filter the water. We've got physical filters, which looks like this. This white filter, I'm going to pass it around so you guys can have a look and you can feel it. This white filter we call a sediment filter. It's there to take out any sand, mud, anything that's physical in the water. It's there to remove it. You can pass it around. Okay, everyone can see it. Then we have this fantastic little filter. Now what this filter does is, imagine if your water tastes bad, it smells bad, or it's got a specific bad color. This is what we use to correct it. It's called a carbon filter. So it's almost like charcoal when you have a brush. Imagine the charcoal that you have in your brush. This is like charcoal. And what does charcoal do? It absorbs all the bad smells and tastes out the water. So it makes your water taste the way it's supposed to taste. So those are just two examples of us filtering the water. But does it really clean your water? Is the question. So the question is, does it really clean your water? Tristan, does it? It only filters your water. This is where people... No problem. This is where people don't understand clean water. If you go to the shop, and you go buy water, how do you know it's clean? How do you know it's clean? We trust. We walk into a water shop, we run into a water shop, we pick up a bottle of water, and we say, okay, here's 5 liters, I'm going home with this water. Do you know that if that water is clean or not? Do you know that a test was done now in Pretoria, just one region, where they sent out a team of people to go and collect 9 different samples of water that's being sold. And 6 of them was toxic. It can actually kill you. And this is what's being sold to people. So that makes us very important. Yes? Okay. So, do you guys see now why it's so important for us to know about water? Because it's our future. You guys are the future generation. Now, if you don't feed your water, good clean water into your body, do you think that you're going to be healthy? We're going to get more sick more often. We're going to get the flu. We're going to get stink bugs. But the key is, if you drink, and listen to me carefully, if you drink 5 glasses, this size glasses, if you drink 5 of these glasses of clean, proper clean water a day, I guarantee you won't get the flu. I'm going to ask you guys a question. When last do you think I had the flu? Come, this is going to be a fun exercise. What?
Never. When you were a kid. Years ago.
96. Do I look that old to you? 96 years ago. Well, the real answer is a very, very long time ago. And why is that? You were close. And why is that? Why is that? Because I drink clean water. This is how important.
That's true, right? A long time ago when we met Eddie, he was 96. And you know, I was 106, can you believe? Right? And now look at us. We are hydrating. Yes? Tristan, we are healthy. Okay? And now we are here to speak to you. Can you see? Okay.
So, what questions do you guys have?
Can dirty water affect objects?
Excellent question. Excellent question. Can dirty water affect objects? Objects like what?
So the car, when you wash the car with dirty water, will it affect the car?
Yes, it does. Excellent question. I like that. Those are the kind of questions that I want you guys to ask me. Yes, it can. Why is the question, right?
Hello?
Now, this is where I'm going to teach you guys And I said earlier that the bad things in the water is dissolved in the water. Right? So you can't see it. Now, we call those things in the water, there's 3 letters for it. It's called TDS. Let's all say it together. TDS. Now, what does TDS stand for? TDS stands for total dissolved solids. Now, how many of you drink vitamins, vitamin tablets, or syrups? Pretty much all of you, right?
I drink vitamins and lemon juice.
Now, this explains it to you. TDS is minerals. Now, you can't see minerals. Minerals can't be seen by the eye. It's actually dissolved in the water. Now, what happens is when certain minerals come together, they bond, as we say, they join. They form something else, which is harmful to objects. I'll give you one example. How many of you guys have seen at your houses, or even at friends' houses, or aunties, or uncles, wherever you might have been, this white stuff that builds up in your kettle at the bottom, in the actual kettle, or on the front of taps? What is that? How did it just magically appear?
That's a filter.
No. It's white, hard white stuff. How many of you guys, when you bought shoes, when you guys got new shoes, got the little white packets inside your shoes? Now, in that packet is what we call silica or lime scale. Now, what is lime scale? 2 minerals that we always say we have to have in our bodies, and we have to guess, is calcium and magnesium. How many of you have heard those names? Calcium, magnesium. What is calcium good for? Why do we need calcium in our bodies?
To just stay healthy and
Yes, it's for us to grow our bones and to keep our bones strong in our teeth. That's calcium. Magnesium. Why do we need magnesium? Look at me what I'm doing. Why do we need magnesium?
to learn.
For energy. It increases our energy levels. But the problem is, if you've got a lot of calcium, a lot of magnesium in the water, they are like 2 magnets. And they join. And when they join, they form limescale. And limescale is harder than steel. You cannot break limescale apart once it's formed. Now, if limescale forms in the water, and you're washing your car with that water, is it going to scratch your car?
Yes.
What happens if limescale forms into that crystal and doesn't sit in your house's pipes?
We have clean water.
No. It's going to block the pipes. You see on your kettle, when you have that white stuff at the bottom, go home and look at your kettles. Go say, Mommy, Dad, show me the kettle. Open it, I want to see. And look inside the kettle at the bottom, where the element is. Look if anything white is built up in there. But what's eventually going to happen? If it's completely covered, the kettle can't work anymore. Same with your geysers. How many of you want to go home and have a cold shower? You like cold showers? Yeah, Mr. Motocross man. But if you have to have a cold shower in winter, now what happens if your heating element in the geyser is full of limescale?
It's gonna make your muscles loose.
No.
You're gonna be sick.
That is a very good point there as well. But it's actually going to make the geyser not heat your water anymore. Do you see what I'm talking about? Do you see how complex water can be? This is touching the surface of all the different types of minerals that's in the water. We have something called, it's going to be a big word and I don't expect you guys to remember this, but we have something called the table of elements, the periodic table of elements, Okay, you'll get to that when you get to high school, and in science you'll learn this. Now what it is it's basically a table that's got a lot of little blocks. Like this. And each block is a different mineral. And if you look at the table, you'll see that certain blocks, certain areas, because it's a big block, and then say this block will be green, will be the color of green. So all of these will be green. The next blocks will be orange, the next blocks will be red, the next blocks will be brown. What does that mean?
Like the block with the brown ones is very dirty.
Good try, good try. I don't expect you guys to know. I just want to see how far I can stretch your imagination.
It shows the particle solid liquid or gas.
In a way, very good answer. What it's actually teaching you, what it's showing you is the true color of that mineral. Now I'm going to do a little test with you guys. You guys are going to be shocked. You guys are going to be absolutely shocked. And this is what I want to prove. Martin, do me a favor. Get me, go to Raj, get me a precipitator.
Cool.
And then also get me a glass of our borehole water, the normal borehole water. From the normal tap.
All
Now,
right. Sorry, Eddie. Teachers just said something now, very I want to tell you something very important, right? So teacher doesn't buy water. Teacher Berlin is boiling water. Is boiling water good from your tap? It's good, are you sure? Are you sure? When we boil water, what do we want to kill in the water?
Germs.
We want to kill the germs, right? And bacteria. But when you're boiling it, do you know for the germ and the bacteria to stay dead, the water must be at that boiling point? What happens to water that is boiled? It's killed at that time, but doesn't the water stay hot?
It sometimes cools and other times.
It cools down, and when it cools down, teacher, Berlin, that's the problem. The bacteria and the germs have a big party. They say high five to all their friends when the water is cooled, which means that your water is no better. Actually, it's more dangerous than before. Did we know that? No, you cannot boil water. That's why you need the correct equipment to treat your water. It must go through something, right, for the water to be cleaned. So now we've learned something. Remember, I told you, you are the water ambassador. So now you're going to tell your friends and your family, boiling water is no good. Because why? The germs come back with their friends, and you can get sick, and you can die. Okay. Good. Back to you, Eddie.
all right, so we're going to do something exciting now.
Yes.
Now, this is the exciting part, what I'm looking forward to the most. What we're going to do is I'm going to do a magic trick for you guys. I'm going to do a magic trick, okay, using a small piece of equipment that's not expensive. But I'm going to prove to you that when you buy water and you look at water and you think that you can see through it, that water is clean. So how many of you think I can prove to you? So all of you don't think I can prove to you. I can change this water. This, do you all think that's clean? Okay. You think I can change this water and make it look like coffee? How? Without putting anything in. How many of you think I can do that? Perfect. All right. So here goes Eddie's little magic trick. This is straight water from the ground. Okay? So it hasn't been filtered or anything as yet. This is almost like water you get from your tap when you go home. Yeah. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass electricity through this water. I'm going to pass electricity through it. And what I'm going to show you now is going to, so if I have to show you, thanks Martin. So if I have to show you, look at this water. If you just see this water, would you drink it? If it was at a friend's house or a family's house, would you drink it? Would you drink it? Why would you? See, it's the same as that water. There's no difference. Right? Now, this is a little trick that I like to do with the customers that I learned 16 years ago. And I'm going to prove to you guys, and I'm going to show you what is really in that see-through water. All I'm going to do is I'm going to pass electricity into the water. And here, switch it on. And I'm going to let it do its magic trick. Now, this is what I'm trying to prove to you here. That water is not as simple as what we make it out to be. When you go, think of this, when you're at school and you have an athletics day, or you have a cricket day, or a tennis day, and you're doing sport. When you are rugby, when you are soccer, when you're halftime, you run for the nearest tap. You don't care if the tap is sticking out the ground, and you want to just because you're thirsty. Am I right? Am I wrong? That's why I asked you if you would drink that water. Now, by proving to you, I'm going to be showing you why all of these are color-coded. Because every single mineral, when you shock the water with electricity, you pass electricity into water. It brings out the true color of the mineral. So it changes it, it brings it out, and it's showing you, here I am. This is who I am. So I'm going to let that do its work for another minute, and then I will have done my magic trick, and you will, guys will have really seen why we have to take water seriously. Now I'd like you all, don't get too close to it, come and have a look. Come and have a look, stand up, come and have a look at what that water looks like. And this is the type of water that you're going to run half time from a rugby match or a soccer match, and you're going to go and consume. Is this water going to be good for you?
No.
Did my magic trick work to prove to you guys? Now I'm going to switch it off. Switch it off. Have a look. And you drink that now. That is really what the quality of the water is like. Although it looked just like that, compare the two now. It looked just like that a minute ago. This is actually what is in your water, good and bad. So does it make sense now why we have to make sure we filter and or purify the water? This looks like espresso, it looks like coffee. It's like, whenever I do this test with the customers, they almost want to fall off their chair. The one customer actually threw up in front of me. They were saying, I was drinking this all my life. I'm saying, exactly. Now you guys will understand, if we don't filter or purify the water, what's going to end up happening? We have to stand a chance to die, we have to stand a chance to get ill. Now, this is another interesting fact. You guys can all go back to your seats. Another interesting fact, right, is what the effect the water has on us as humans. Now we all say we can get ill, we can die. But if you have a look at the actual stats, the statistics, we have the highest cancer rate in the entire world. Any other country. And what ends up when we get cancer? What is 90% of the time what happens? If you take, I'm standing in front of you. Do I look healthy? Do I look energetic?
Yes.
Would you have said that I had cancer? Yes. 6.5 years ago, I was diagnosed with cancer, colon cancer. But that is stabilized due to drinking good, clean water. This is the seriousness of what we live with in this country. And this is things we're trying to avoid. What questions you guys have? Come on, you guys must have questions. Ask away. Anything that you want to know about water, ask away.
Really? Must I ask the questions? Wow. 10 rand? If I ask questions, please pay me for my service, guys.
If water goes through many pipes and comes out one water, is it still dirty?
Very good question. Very good question. Because water, the pipes in your house builds up things we call like rust. Also, when rust forms, have you ever felt a pipe that's rusty? Have you felt it? What does it feel like?
Dirt on skin.
It's like it feels like rough, eh? It's rust.
That's like sand.
Now, because rust is in your pipes, what happens when bacteria goes into those grooves where the rust is? Exactly. Good one, Kristen. We have a larger chance of building bacteria up in your pipes. So that's what the dangers are. There's a lot of dangers to water. It's not just us as humans. It's also property damage. It's also environmental damage. I had a customer at a mine. It was a big mine. And they bought a big purification plant. Big purification plant. Never told us. They said, there, we must come and install. When we got to the mine, my technician went, whoa, what's happening here? What are we doing with this plant? They said, no, we want to take river water, we want to purify it, and put it back into the river. Now, my question was, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Because the community by the mine were complaining that the river water was too dirty. They wanted it cleaned. So they thought, let's buy a purification plant, filter the river water and stick it back into the river. But what would that do to our environment?
Will make it dirty.
No. Remember, we keep putting clean water back into the river. But what would that do to our environment, to the fish, to the plants inside the water? What would it do to?
The fishes will stay alive.
Who will stay alive?
I'm gonna harm the animals in the water.
Exactly. You're going to kill the environment. Because purification means taking 95% of all the minerals out of the water. So what we're doing by using something called reverse osmosis, this is a reverse osmosis membrane, we are stripping, taking out, completely removing 95% of all minerals out of the water. So, think about it. If you go and you test river water or dam water, you're going to have a lot of minerals in it, correct? Why? Because plants, birds, fish need minerals to survive. So if we purify the water and if we're sticking hardly any mineral water back into the river, you're going to kill the fish and the birds. See, this is why it's so important for us to understand how important purification and filtration is within our country. Because we make one wrong move, I'm going to get to you now. When we make one wrong decision, we can affect the entire ecosystem. An entire ecosystem. Now, when you grow up, would you like your children one day not to be able to know that there ever existed something like fish or a certain type of bird? Or we live in desert because the plants can't grow. It's just sand and mud. We don't want to live in a world like that, do we? We want to live in a healthy world. And a healthy world requires good water and different environments. You are going to ask me a question.
Tando, he wants to know
Yes.
what kind of chemicals do you use to purify the water?
Okay. Now, that's a very good question. Because what we do first is we take the water and we test the water. So we put it through a laboratory machine and then we get readings for all the minerals that's in water. So it'll tell us how high the calcium is, how high the magnesium is, how high the boron is. All of the different minerals, it'll tell you, it'll give you an actual value. Now, we determine according to the value of that, whether it's too high or too low. And that's how we suggest the correct filter system for your water specifically. So, we can start with something like this, but all this is going to do is it's going to take sediment out of your water, it's going to make your water taste, smell, and look like it's supposed to, and that's it. So it's really only polishing already good, decent water. But when we go to remove certain things that are high in the water, how many of you have been to, I don't know if it's at your house or at your friend's house or another house, have seen this big, thick red or brown stain in your bath, on the sink or in the shower? Like brown orange. You know what that is? That's iron. Not iron like iron that you make a window with or something like that. Not iron. Real iron that's dissolved in water. But in order for us to protect that from not happening, and it's also got health implications, we need to get a correct filtration system. And for that, we would use, these are all what we call medias. These are all different physical medias. Come and have a look, guys.
Come. Just watch this plug here. This is here out of the way. Oh, this was the precipitator, right?
Yep.
This plug that out.
Now if you have a look, this is only a few. You can pick it up, look at it, look at what it looks like.
Let's take this out of the way so nobody trips.
Now each and every one of these does a specific goal.
No, that's not sugar. That's not sugar, Tando. No, that's not sugar, baby. It's chemicals.
Alright, so we just change this around so you see the different water and then I'm just going to shoot out the deep because there is
Now, is the fun part, because my little friend over here,
Thank you.
this is one of my best friends. You know what his name is?
Shaking because of shaking.
I also give him 3 liters. In the water game, I love 3 liters. It makes me simple. This is Mr. FRP. Fiberglass reinforced pressure vessel. Now, if you have a look, all those medias that you saw there now, I'll tell you what each and every one of them can do for you in the water. See, inside here, empty. You guys see it? Empty. Now, my good old Mr. FRP friend, if I take activated carbon and I throw activated carbon in here, I'm going to correct the taste, odor, and color of the water. Specifically, and I'm going to also remove chlorides. What is chlorides? Chlorides is a natural form of chlorine. And when you go swim, has your mom or your daddy ever told you don't swallow the swim water? Why? Because of the chlorine that gets put into the water is dangerous for you. Putting carbon in here, we remove it. Sand, put in here. What does it do? It removes physical things like stones, dust, rust, that kind of stuff. It traps it. And we can actually get rid of it. We can backwash this FRP down the drain and get rid of all that stuff. before it gets to the house. And that's sand. Then we get alkaline balls. Put this in here. What happens? You guys have seen the adverts on TV, the advertisements on TV that says drink alkaline, 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 everything's alkaline. Yeah, alkaline water is the best water you can drink. If we measure a pH of the water, good pH or balanced pH of water is sitting at 7.2. Now the moment we go less, let's say we go to 6, it means this water becomes acid, or as we call it, acidic. Now it's like drinking vinegar. How many of you can drink a cup of vinegar? Straight. Do you think it's good for you? No. The moment we go up, we go alkaline. Now, what happens with acidic water? What happens if you have to drink acid water? Think of your body, your stomach. Think of that. Your stomach has got what in it?
Acid.
Acid. Good one. Yes. What does that acid do?
It keeps that germs don't come in your body and kills.
That's one thing it does, yes.
It decomposes the food.
Exactly, breaks down the food. Brilliant. Yes, you guys are brainiacs. You guys are very clever. Now, when you drink too much orange juice or you drink too much cola, what happens? You get heartburn, right?
Yeah.
You can feel it coming up here in your throat. You get heartburn.
Yeah,
Right.
The
Yes.
acid.
Because what is your body telling you? I can produce my own acid. I don't need you to give me any acid. So now, if we're drinking acidic water, what do you think is going to happen? If you drink over a long period of time too much orange juice or too much cola or anything that's of an acidic nature, what's going to happen? Have you ever heard of a stomach ulcer? It's sores.
The stomach.
It's a stomach ulcer. It's sores that burns your stomach lining. And you eventually lose your appetite. You don't want to eat. So, do we want acidic water? Yes or no?
Why? No.
Perfect. We don't want acidic water. But now, how do we get this water to alkaline? Take the alkaline balls, put it in the stick for 1 vessel. It lifts your pH into alkaline. That's what this one does. Then we move on. We talked about iron earlier. That stains your bathroom. DMI 65. Looks like sand. It's from Australia. All imported from Australia. Put this in there. Iron gone. Do you see how each and every one of these, we spoke about lime scale earlier. Remember that what calcium, magnesium, joined, right? How do we take that out? Cation resin. Because these little things that look like little fish eggs. You see that looks like little fish eggs. And it's very slippery, guys. This I'm telling you, I have fallen on my bum numerous times when I slip on this. It's very slippery. But what does this do? These little, as we call fish eggs, cation resin, it absorbs the calcium and magnesium into these little things. So it physically removes it from the water. Does it make sense? We've also got, this is amazing. This little mixed bag of media we call BioPlus. I'm going to tell you a little story. Now we say we're removing 95% of all the minerals out of water. Now it's really only water that's left, right? There's not really anything left in the water. Is that water good for you? Yes, in a way it is. Definitely, it is good for you. But your body still needs minerals. So, I'm going to tell you this little story, which is incredible. They were trying for many years. I would say about 12, 15 years, they've been trying to find a way to put the right minerals back into the water. Now, if I tell you I'm going to take what is natural that comes out the ground, I'm going to remove it. But now in a factory, somebody's making a liquid that we're going to inject into the water that's put in the middle of that. You think that's healthy? It's not healthy. So what they did was they thought about it very closely. And they said, what in our food range, what we eat, or what we spice our foods, has the highest mineral content in the world? And they saw it was pink salt. How many of you have pink salt at home? Your parents use pink salt. Mommy or daddy? You know, teacher. Now, pink salt, why do we use pink salt? Because of its mineral content. Now, when they drilled by the Dead Sea where they get the pink salt from, they found that the ground, what was in the ground, had the same mineral content. And it's natural. So what this biomix does, not only does it put more than 100 trace elements of the right minerals back into the water, it's also anti-cancer, anti-diabetes, anti-aging, antibacterial, hydrogen-rich water. So this is why I say that water that you are drinking is like water on steroids. It's the best quality water that you possibly can get and can make. Now, I'm going to go back to, I'm going to ask you guys again, more questions. Ask me after what I've just told you, give me more questions. Anything that you might not understand. You look like you're a little puzzled. What have you ever thought about when it comes to water? Important things. Yes. If you cry, your tears come out. Yes. That's a brilliant. And it's water. It's water. But now think, that was a very good point you made there. Right. By me telling you that 70% of your body is water. When you get hurt and you cry a lot, does your body lose water?
Sandra said when it rains, it's water.
When it rains, it's water. I like this. This is all you need to give me. I want you to understand that water is everywhere, all around us.
Sorry, Eddie. Just one second.
Now, the answer to that question is yes. It does. When you bleed, if you get hurt, you think your body loses water?
Yes.
Yes. Because 70% of your body is made up of water. Do you see the relevance of why water is so important? Do you know? Okay, you stunned. Question. No. It's part of that. Because what is water? I like where you're going with that one. It's a very clever question. What is water really? Have you guys ever heard about H2O?
Yes.
Now what does H2O mean? What is H2O? What does it stand for?
Water.
Water, yes, but what is the H, the 2, and the O?
Hydration, oxygen.
Brilliant. Hydrogen. And 2 parts oxygen. What is in your blood?
Oxygen.
Oxygen. So it's part water. So now the question is, if you're drinking bad water, and it's not pure H2O, is your body really getting what it's supposed to? And that's the reason why we fall ill. Any more questions? That was a very good question. I like it. You guys must keep it coming, keep firing at me. everyone in South Africa deserves to drink good, clean, purified water. Am I correct? We all deserve that. Colonel, yes, I like this firing.
How many suppliers do the company with water?
How many companies do you supply?
Okay, I'm going to give you a number. If I give you a breakdown of our company, we own 2 factories in China. The Chinese work for us in China, where we build and design the machines. My director, which I'm going to come and introduce you to just now, he's the brainchild behind Puritech, because his whole idea is, as you gone with you. So he was just like from Dubai. He sits with engineers and he designs these machines and he keeps on making it more and more compact, smaller, so it takes less space. But if I have to give you a true figure of what our customer count at the moment is, being just in South Africa, this is currently how many customers we work. How many people in industries we supply? More than 20,000. But understand that we are expanding because we are opening up offices, Puritech offices in Dubai as well. And we're also going to be opening up offices in New Zealand in the future.
Job CV.
So guys, everybody around the world, everyone, it's not limited to South Africa, deserves to live healthy and deserves to have clean water. This is what people do not understand. We go every day, we take it for granted. When you get in the shower, when you get in the bath, when you fill your kettle, you take for granted that the water is supposed to be clean. But water is not. We're facing a crisis in this country. Your municipal water that the government supplies is dirtier than borehole water currently. How many of you heard about the cholera epidemic not too long time ago?
What's all over the news, guys?
Cholera killed people. It hospitalized more than 1,000 people in Hammanskraal alone. And it's a bacteria. But now, we're going in a different direction. Now we've got water filters. But these filters isn't going to kill bacteria. It's not going to kill bacteria. What kills bacteria? What do we use to kill bacteria? We don't even need chemicals. This is what we call our ultraviolet light. It's for UV light, it's for short. What is this? It's a special UV light that gets put in here. The water comes in here, it spirals around the glass tube and comes out here. What does that light do? That light releases radiation. And that radiation kills bacteria. How many of you have seen these, one of these in a house? Show of hands. How many of you think this is important to have at your house? But there's plenty other ways of killing bacteria as well, depending on the levels of bacteria in the water and what type of bacteria there is. There's this little thing. Looks like a toy. When you buy it, the Toys R Us or something, right? Yeah, aircon or heater, easily you can get confused with this. But this is what we call an ozone. Oh, what does ozone do?
Purifies water.
It's a more effective way than a UV light to kill bacteria. Because what it does is, it actually, because it's our O2, it's same with air, it's in its natural element, it's O2. This injects an extra O into it. So it makes it O3. So if you look at some of the water shops, they'll advertise RO3 water. That means it's ozonated water. But now what happens is when you introduce that extra oxygen molecule to the other two, it becomes like a tennis ball. It's like taking a tennis ball. If I stand in this room and I take a tennis ball and I bounce it like this, and it goes bouncing off all the walls. So any bacteria it touches, it kills. But the thing about ozone is, it smells like rotten eggs. It smells, I'll be honest, it smells like a rotten egg. So it's not a nice smell, and you also can't be in the room where you are ozonating, because it can kill your fibers of the lungs. So this is meant for water. I'm sure you guys have seen in some places that some people have this little machine, they have like this, they've got a mat in their bath, with a lot of little holes, and they go lie on this ozone mat, and then little bubbles come out like this, and they just lie in it. Sports injuries, when they are unhealthy or they've got some sort of chronic disease, it's ozone. So do you see how many different ways we've got to take care of the problems in the water? But if we don't educate the people out there, that's why you guys are the water ambassadors. We don't stand up and tell realistically the people around us, our friends, our family, we love them, right? You love your mom, your dad, your sisters, your uncles, your aunts, your nieces, nephews, nieces. You love them, right? We need to be the water ambassadors and we need to tell them they need to drink clean water. It's very important, if not the most important thing. We can be without electricity. I can go to the shop and I can buy candles. But can I do without water? No, you can't be without water. That is how important it is. Do you also know, just a little fun fact, do you know that every single industry in the world, people that make Dulux paints that you paint your walls with, car manufacturers, people that make cars, that actually assemble the cars like Nissan and Toyota, people that make the lovely perfumes and the deodorants that you use to smell nice every day. Do you know that purified water is used in every single industry in the world? That's a fact. And this is the big picture of what water is really about. Like I said, I've been 16 years with this company, and I'm still learning every single day. Every single day I'm learning something new. That's how vast the water industry actually is, and how important it is. More questions, guys. Tristan, you look like you got a question. Kenneth?
I do.
Yes, go.
I don't know, it's just. So you guys just purify water. You don't supply water to any companies.
We build the machinery and install the machinery so that other people can open up water shops, and we do the industries like the paint industries, car industries, the mines. So we supply the equipment and all the filters, but we don't actually physically. But we had made water many years ago, but it became labor intensive. You know, with the amount of extra labor and then full of bottles and
Yes.
it was just something we decided we'd rather. We don't want to take food out of people's mouths. People come to us to open up a water shop, so they can supply their community, their township, their area, their suburb with good clean water that they can sell. We don't want to take that away from them. But our main aim is, do you know, how many of you have heard of Baragwanath Hospital? You guys know Baragwanath Hospital?
Yeah.
Do you know that I installed a 2,000 litre per hour big reverse osmosis purification plant on the roof of the hospital? To do what? Have any of you?
To keep the water healthy.
Clean water.
Yes, that supplied the hospital with good clean water, but there was a reason for it.
Not to let people get sick from the bacteria and the disease.
So that the patients don't get even more sick than they are.
All of those answers, I put them in the correct column, but that's not the answer I'm looking for. How many of you people have heard, I don't know if you've got in your families people with kidney problems. Now, there's a special procedure which is called dialysis, which means you need to put pure, ultra pure water through the kidneys. So this water cannot be 95%. This water needs to be 100% ultra. That's what we call ultra pure water. If you go to a pharmacy, I don't know if you guys have heard of the term before, distilled water. Or water that you put in your car battery. That's ultra pure water. It means there's 0 minerals in that water. It's just literally H2O. That water is used to treat kidney problems. So that plant up there has been saving thousands of lives for the last 5 years, ongoing.
Wow.
Labs, laboratories. When you get all of these results People, you always hear on the news, they got lab results and there's 65% of this in the water, there's 65% of that. Laboratories can only use distilled water to test because any mineral content that is left in that water can mix with whatever they are busy testing and can give them incorrect readings. So all of our tests that we've done by the doctors and the nurses and all the clever people, the professors, are using ultra pure water to get their refined results. So even though that in the car battery industry, ultra pure water is required, otherwise the battery will die and won't work. When you go to a place, when you go with mom and dad and you go to the hardware store and they're picking different nice colors for the wall, what are we going to paint it? Oh, we're going to paint it like this, I don't know, peach, pink, or I don't know what. I'm not a handy person myself. But you go there and they pick it. Then they go with a little card. Have you seen those little cards in the hardware store? And you pick a specific color. You say, I want that color.
Yeah.
Then you see they've got this machine, and this machine mixes, and they make that for you specifically, exactly the shade. What is used to bond the different colors?
Water.
Ultra pure water. Do you see what I'm talking about? When you've got your nice smelling perfumes, if I give you an example, right? Have you ever bought a perfume that you like, you spray it on and it's 10 minutes and you're like, it doesn't smell anymore. But you buy another perfume, the whole day you don't have to spray again. And you keep smelling like it, even until after you bath. And that's a difference between a good quality perfume and a cheap perfume. What makes a good quality perfume? Ultra pure water. Because it has nothing conflicting with it, so they can, all those different fragrances and a mixture can bond properly. Another example, sunlight liquid. You get sunlight liquid, it costs you, let's say 35 Rand for a bottle. But then you go for the Happy dishwashing liquid, that's what it's called, and it's 9 Rand 99. But if you notice that if you use only 2 teaspoons of sunlight, you can wash an entire batch of dishes. But the other Happy dishwashing liquid, you have to use half of the thing just to get to half of your dishes. Why? Ultra pure water. Because it helps those chemicals that makes that sunlight bond properly. I've just used simple off random topic examples. If I can go on till next week telling you about every single industry that we use water in. When you go to the hairdresser and you want to get your hair cut, normally what do?
They wash your hair.
They wash your hair. Again, what happens if you going to color your hair? Teacher, I'm going to ask you. If you're going to color your hair, let's say you're going to color it green. Just an example. And they put the coloring in. First they wash your hair and then they put the coloring in. Have you seen some people they go buy, let's say, purple hair dye, but their hair comes out blue? Why is that? No,
It's not properly mixed, it's affecting.
that in that hair color, it's made up of specific different chemicals. Now, if you're not using clean water and there's another mineral in there, it counteracts against the mineral, so they start fighting. It changes the composition of the color completely. I've had a customer, believe it or not, I was telling you guys a funny story. She came in and she bought a filter system like that, and I said to her, no, you need Mr. FRP. First we need to test your water, then we need Mr. FRP to make sure that everything is fine. No, but just give me that basic filter system. I said, fine. Told her, you know what, I'll give it to you. Gave it to her. This is what happened. A week later, she comes walking in there. Guess what color her hair was? Shocking green. Shocking. Like your shirt there, my friend. Standing like this. Look like Cruella de Vil. And she was up angry and she said, but that filter. I said, not that filter. What is in your water And after I did the water test, I saw that the iron in the water was effectively fighting against the chemicals in the shampoo. It wasn't even coloring her. She just went for a shower. Imagine going into a shower, your hair's black, come out as green. So, guys, before we're going to have some lunch, we've organized you guys some lunch. Toilet break for any of you. This is your opportunity. So I think let's just go out and have a toilet break, and I can get them to prepare your lunch for you here. All right.
Ladies, don't forget your other half.